Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tenzin, one third of the SOS podcast. And it's going to be a little short chill stream today. Little bro can make it. He's a little under the weather. I'm hoping he's a. Ah, darn. I was hoping to get that out before I went live, but I tested it. I tried, but hey, you got to see Tenzin sneeze. So if you're watching live or if you're just having to see the playback, don't be too shy to give a little bless. All right, despite my atheism. But oof, yes, with the heavy heart that Charlie Kirk, right wing pundit, was shot and killed at a Utah college. I think it was an event he was holding. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy as hell. That's all I can say. I mean, I read about it, when I was at work, but then my mom called and she was talking about it, and yeah, she confirmed that he died. No information on an assailant just yet. Um, yeah. Uh, but now, to anyone who's unfamiliar with Charlie Kirk, as I said, he's a right wing pundit. Said a lot of inflammatory things online, on video. Um, Definitely, I think he made some Fox News appearances. I want to say he was on CNN. But yeah, real buddy buddy with the Trumps. Yeah, pretty much like Rush Limbaugh if he was like a millennial, I guess. That's Charlie Kirk. Like I said, I'm interested to hear what the motive was, who did it, you know, but damn, he was the same person who said that if he saw a black pilot or something, he would second guess the flight or whatever, or cancel the flight. I don't know. Yeah, he said a lot of shit, man. He was, yeah, had some interesting things to say about um, women and feminism and all that good shit. Hold on, let me pull up some of his greatest hits. Let's see. Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I seen him on YouTube a couple of times. He was usually like if you're a consumer of like YouTube content, then that's where you know Charlie Kirk from. Cause that's how I know him. Like, a lot of my favorite streamers have debated him or responded to his takes. Hold on. I'm like one of my favorite videos was he was at some college in England. And yeah, those students was tearing him apart. Like this one chick got up there and was basically just giving him reality, basically. Hold on, Charlie Kirk's infamous tweets. Mm, 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 mm. Sorry for the dead air, folks. Okay. Well, I'm not finding any right now, and I don't like giving y'all dead air. But anywho, my thoughts are with the Kirk family. This sucks too. I think his family was there. So unfortunately, his spouse and his children had to, witness him die in such a tragic way. Now, I'm not the type to police how people respond to deaths, especially a figure as controversial as he is. Now, to a lot of people, especially a lot of marginalized folks, like that's probably like a breath of fresh air, you know. It's like, okay, that's one less, figurehead. That's one less mouth speaking like horrid things about our communities, our livelihoods, saying, while others, yeah, they're gonna be respectful, no matter what. Or, because obviously he had fans, I think, but yeah, this man been saying wild shit since he was 18 years old. I mean, I think he founded the Turning Point USA, which is a conservative like what, think tank or something, or media thing. I don't know, but yeah, I've seen, yeah, they had like serious events, like, yeah, basically like once Trump got in, yeah, that's when he started coming up, because he was taking advantage. What a lot of people was doing, taking advantage of the anti SJW shit, which I fell for that bullshit as well. I was successfully gaslit by the right wing media apparatus into thinking that those people actually cared about a conversation. They don't. And which, if you was to ever watch Charlie Kirk's debates, he's usually going to college campuses, because those are easy debate opponents, young college kids who get riled up easy. He's just getting clicks and views and pretty much saturating the market with, hey, look at these crazy left wing college nut jobs. They get mad as soon as I ask questions, which, if you was to actually watch the video, he's cutting them off. He's going down this dialogue tree that nobody, like, it's like he does a lot of underhanded things during these debates. And like I said, he goes after college kids. So it's not like he's talking to experts on the subject, or, you know, going to a professor and saying, "Hey, teach me this stuff. I actually want to know the other side. I actually want to understand you." No, he's just there to argue. There's a difference between debate and arguing, which, I don't. I was like, well, actually, I guess now that I'm in my 30s, I don't really like to do it anymore, but I still enjoy a good debate. I mean, but my thing is, my interlocutor has to be intellectually honest, or at the very least, intelligent enough to understand their their own mental limitation. Because there's I mean, because look, I've debated religious people a lot. Just being an atheist, you have no choice. Like, because people always want to question you. So you, like, being in that marginalized position like that, like, like, I've learned early on, okay, most of these folks don't want to have a conversation with you. They just want to push their views. So that's basically what Charlie Kirk and a lot of right wing, people do. Like, what was his name? Steven Crowder. He had the, prove me wrong sign. And I think, Charlie Kirk had the prove me wrong sign above him when he was, tragically gunned down. But, he was probably at that school just about to debate college students about whatever the fuck, whether it be the Second Amendment or DEI, which, he was very anti DEI, of course. Anti-abortion, the usual right-wing rigmarole. Oh, he also supported that great replacement to an extent. He would definitely make little comments like, similar to like Lauren Southern, like, "Oh, you see, France doesn't look like France anymore." Like, what do you mean by that? What they mean is there's black people there and they don't fucking like it. Obviously, he was supportive of these ICE raids. I mean, like I said, like, I personally cannot police how people respond to death. Like, Same with Hulk Hogan. Peace be upon you. But, the Hulkster wasn't a great guy. He was racist. I mean, he was literally caught on tape going on a racist rant saying if his daughter was to date a black person, and I quote, he needs to be at one of those 8 foot tall niggers, hard ER, that plays basketball. Like, so yeah, we know where he stands when it comes to black people. But he was also just um he was greedy. Um excuse me what? You know, Ventura, he was trying I forget the first name for Jesse. There we go. Jesse Ventura. He was a wrestler for the WWE, WWF at the time. He wanted to unionize the wrestlers. And yeah, niggas were getting down with it because obviously, look, we're putting our bodies on the line, and we need to be compensated fairly, and we need just some fair treatment. Maybe ownership you know, of our gimmicks. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But guess who busted it? The Hulkster. He flipped. He told Vince about it. And according to Jesse Ventura himself, he said he had to find that out through the hearing because I think he used some sort of Open Records Act to just, figure out, hey, who was it? And it turned out, yeah, Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea. Yeah, again, so a lot of people was definitely dancing on the grave. I don't judge them for it because just unfortunately, just from what we were able to capture, I mean, Terry was not a good person. However, like myself, Terry entertained us as children. Like, there were people who were entertained by him when they were kids. They looked up to him. He was dope. You know, Crazy thing is though, like I first saw the NWO Hulkster. So, but when I found out about Good Guy Hulk, I liked him, and they brought him back in WWE. So that was dope. Anywho, I got distracted, but yeah, I mean, there's people who, yeah, peace be upon you, Terry. Like, there's people who are really hurt by that. They, to them, that was Hulk Hogan. That was the nigga who picked up Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 and leg dropped him for the championship, like and just made their lives, like that was I mean, that's one of the best moments, in wrestling from the golden era. Um, you know, you gotta, despite his character, you gotta give him credit. He helped make wrestling mainstream. Like nobody, like even if you didn't watch wrestling, you knew who Hulk Hogan was because he was just a superstar like that. But yeah, there's some people like me personally. I was conflicted, 'cause I was like, yeah, he was definitely a staple in my childhood. Like he definitely entertained me, and I love watching him wrestle. But at the same time, I was like, oh man, knowing what I know now is like, I mean, I'm not gonna say rest in piss, but I mean, damn, man. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't necessarily believe in an afterlife because, I'm an atheist. However, the afterlife that I know we do have is the memory that we leave behind in different people. So we're basically gonna be living hella different lives depending on who you've impacted. So let's just say I go out, right? I mean, to some people I was a great person, to others I was terrible. And those me's are going to be alive, that good guy Marcus is going to be alive in somebody's head, big cousin Marcus, big brother Marcus, little brother Marcus, my son Marcus, my nephew Marcus, my uncle Marcus. Like those different entities are living in people are going to be living in people's minds for however long they're alive. And and then maybe when you're finally forgotten, that's when it all ends. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, throughout life, you're going to impact people. And the impact you leave is going to determine the reaction people have to your passing. And, if you were someone like Charlie Kirk who said inflammatory things online, racist things, anti feminist things, like, yeah, don't be surprised when I mean, he don't care, but unfortunately, his family and friends are not only are they going to see the RIP post, but they're going to see the fuck you post as well, because that's the shitty part about being influential, being a public figure. Um, but nah, B, it's I'm not necessarily thou shalt not speak ill of the dead kind of person, because if anything, I'm going to tell the truth about how a person was, what I know. I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, no, I mean, I'm not gonna hoop and holler, dance on the grave or nothing like that. I ain't even do that shit for Osama bin Laden. You know what I'm saying? But just look out for the people who try to police you. Okay, especially the ones who are the loudest when it comes to, hey, you shouldn't do that. Hey, because if you was to click on their profile and scroll down far enough, you'll probably see some George Floyd jokes in there. And that's one thing that I'm afraid of with the murder of Charlie Kirk. Is just what is going to ripple into, because the right wing they already have this victim mentality. So now a prominent figure of theirs gets murdered. I mean, look, you see what happened to Washington. You see what happened in D.C. after Big Balls got beat up or whatever. Like, they sent the fucking National Guard over there. So Charlie Kirk, who was a close confidant, who was pretty close with the Trump family, getting shot and killed. I mean, now we got to figure out who it is first. So maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, just a tad, because we still got to figure out who it was, what the motives were. But I'm telling you now, if it's anything like, if it's anything to the left of Bull Connor, they are gonna be like, see, these fucking because I kid you the fuck not. Like, I was on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends already, and he's black, by the way, already talking about, oh, these fucking crazy leftists, these fucking crazy leftists. And yeah, someone in the comment section had to be like, dude, like, they don't even know who the shooter is yet. What the fuck is that? Whoa. And mind you, the main niggas doing the shootings are the right wing motherfuckers. So I don't know. Uh, but yeah, man, it's a shame that he had to go at such an early age. He was only 31 years old. Can you believe that? I'm older than this guy. I'm just 3 years older than this dude. Um, But yeah, man, just listen, however you feel about the death of Charlie Kirk, I mean, I figure it's just gonna be like Hulk Hogan or like Fred Phelps, another great example. The patriarch of the Westboro Baptist Church. I think they fell way the fuck off now. But what? But yeah, the main patriarch, he basically him and his ilk would go to either the funerals of dead soldiers or the funerals of dead gay people and shout God hates F slurs. And basically just to be there to be a disturbance, and they just because they legally can, which obviously they'll get attacked or whatever, and then they'll turn around and try to sue because that was kind of part of it, which unfortunately they actually believed the bullshit that they were spouting as well. um they were very anti-gay church, and they believe that because homosexuality isn't like straight up outlawed in the US, that's why all these plagues happen, and that's why it's all this evil going on. Because I mean, hey, we're in an evil country because these soldiers are evil because they fight for a country that allows gay people to exist. Like, that's their logic. So so someone who pushes bullshit like that, yeah, motherfuckers might celebrate the death. They might Tootsie slide on the grave. Um, like, not everybody has that respect the dead mentality. Some people are like, hey, if you was a piece of garbage when you was alive, then fuck you. I wish it had happened sooner. Hmm. But I don't know. I guess I'll just leave it off on that. Peace be upon Charlie Kirk. Peace be upon Hulk Hogan. Peace be upon Fred Phelps, of all people. I mean, me personally, I can do that. I can say that, but you know, I'm not gonna shit talk y'all, but I will tell the truth about y'all. And you know, yeah, unfortunately, y'all left a legacy of uh being pieces of garbage. Yeah, I mean, you can't be bigoted. You can't push bigoted rhetoric and expect people to be respectful. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna dance on the grave, but I mean, I'm not gonna forget who you were either. I mean, even that sounds harsh, but either way, peace be upon Charlie Kirk. Thoughts to this family and friends. Thoughts to the Utah campus, whose school I don't know. I just know it was in Utah, but hopefully the murderers apprehended and they face justice for the crime. Yeah, peace out, y'all.